Well, every game's the same, isn't it? They're looking to get their fitness levels at a notch higher. You know, it's a far more experienced team than what Milan have been able to field. But Milan were heavily criticised for their performance in the first game against Olympiacos. Well beaten. Of the teams we've watched, George, Milan have been the poorest for me. So Inzaghi would have been bitterly disappointed with that. He's got a lot to prove. He was the youth team manager last year, of course, at Milan. So it's a big step going from youth team manager to first team coach. And he needs a result tonight. But more importantly, he needs a better performance. The other night, there was nothing good about Milan. Defensively, they looked poor, and up front, they were spineless. You know, they didn't really have any, attempts on goal.
Balotelli could come on this evening. He's on the bench.
Yeah, well, he's an enigma, isn't he? You know, on his day, he can be one of the best players in the world, but he doesn't have too many of them days, so he can have a bad effect on his teammates. But he is technically good, and Pazzini's been left out tonight, and maybe we'll see Balotelli in the second half.
OK, it's the International Champions Cup, Pool B. Your commentators, Alan Kirbishley and Gary Weaver.
The champions of England walk onto the American stage. Chests pumped out, heads held high. This club just wouldn't let go in the title race last season. Just when Liverpool thought their agonising 24-year wait to be kings of England again was over, Manchester City ripped the red and white ribbons off the Premier League trophy and carried English football's greatest prize into East Manchester. Now they're back, and they are hungrier than ever. For Milan, this is game 2 of the International Champions Cup. Game 1 was an absolute nightmare as they were outplayed and outclassed by Olympiacos in Toronto. Milan are hoping to create happier memories here today, Alan.
Absolutely, and I think that their performance, Milan, against Olympiacos was flat, lacklustre. They looked tired, in actual fact, and we've got to realise, take into account, this is pre-season, and perhaps Man City are a week or two further forward in their preparation because the Premier League starts two weeks earlier than the Italian league. So it'll be interesting to see how they cope tonight, Milan.
Honda finding El Shaarawy, who had a chance early on against Olympiacos. El Shaarawy was watched all the way by Dedrick Boyata, but a good start to the game by Milan.
Yeah, and I think that they'll appreciate the surface as well. It looks nice and smooth. It's a header from Montari, and suddenly Shaarawy's away, and he doesn't look comfortable on that left foot. He was in against Olympiacos on Thursday and didn't quite get his shot off with any power.
This could be an early test for Willy Caballero in the Manchester City goal. He came for it, Caballero then retreated. Alex came round the back but couldn't do much with it.
That was a vicious in-swinging corner there, and Alex got away from his marker. He's been put in with a lot of pace. He gets to the far post and just can't get his head on it. Quite dangerous, and I think Caballero was happy to see the ball go wide.
Milan is an iconic name, but this squad is struggling to live up to the past glories. They are a club whose star has fallen in the last couple of years as the budgets have been cut. Pippo Inzaghi, the legendary goal scorer, is the man who has to try and plot a way back to the top of the Italian game.
It's a much stronger side that Milan have put out tonight, I think, and I think it's already showed in the confidence when they've lined up.
It's Kevin Constant playing at left back for Milan, where he spent most of last season. It has been a problem position for the Italians. Constant again. El Shaarawy. There's Cristante, who will try and probe and get Milan going from deep. Andrea Poli. There's Fernando. Plenty that Manchester City have been chasing since January. Finally got their man.